AJ asks, what do you think of people saying they wouldn't recommend your channel to new Catholics? I would disagree. Your channel is a great resource for new Catholics to avoid confusion. Thank you, first of all. I'm a convert from Protestantism to Catholicism. Converted 2012, right at the end of Benedict. And shortly after that, Pope Francis's pontificate began. There's a lot of groups out there, apologetics channels and groups that were great with helping me get into the church. That's all. And when I got to the church, there was a lot of stuff that those apologetic channels and groups and all that, they weren't addressing the issue of and the difficulties that exist when you're in the church. And I feel like that kind of set me up for failure, which is why I went radical traditionalist for a few years and then went to Eastern Orthodoxy and had to work my way through that and return to the church. One of the reasons why I feel that in part happened was I was kind of set up for failure, because there are a lot of Catholic channels and resources that do a good job at bringing people into the church, but then they completely abandon helping people who are already Catholic or once they're in the Catholic Church. Now, not everybody has to have the same mission and ministry, but I do think that we have to have some kind of balance, because what happened is you got these groups out there, they help you get into the church. They tell you, oh, this is the church Jesus established. All that's true. You come to the church, you open the door, you think everything's cool, and then you walk in, and the room you walk into, the entrance room, is on fire. It's burning down. There's people screaming everywhere. They're shouting. They're in agony. They're in pain. There's confusion. People are running everywhere. It's chaos. And someone in the very back of the room is shouting to people, telling them how to survive while they're there, right? And then you have some other people who are handing out fireproof suits and showing you where to go based on the direction of that person way in the back who's telling people how to escape the fire. And then simultaneous to this, you have a bunch of other people in this room who are telling people, run into the fire, jump into the fire, burn, don't take that fireproof jacket, don't take that fireproof suit, don't escape the fire, burn. You got those people. And that group that brought you into the church, what they do is they bring you right up to that door. You open the door, you see this chaos, and then they're gone. They left you right there. That's the way I view some of these apologetic ministries. They're really good and have a lot of great that they do in bringing people to the church, but then they're MIA when people get into it. And then they're dealing with chaos and destruction all around. And they're kind of set up for failure because they're then gone. They don't want to talk about those issues. And you then do have a ministry of people who are in the room telling people, here's where to go, based on that voice all the way in the back, the magisterium guiding you out of the fire and into peace. And they have this ministry where they're helping people. They'll help people come into the church. And when they're in the church, they'll also give them fireproof suits on how to deal with it and work through the fire. Meanwhile, that group of people is being attacked, sometimes by the people who bring them in the door, or at the very least, the people who brought them in the door aren't doing anything to help the people who are in the room helping people. But also you have this other group in the burning room that's actively telling people, run into the fire, burn yourself. Don't go to the ones who have that fireproof suit for you to help you escape the flames. Don't go to them. They're horrible, nasty, mean people. They're slanderers. They're this and that. And they'll do all sorts of wild things to harm the credibility of those who are trying to help you. And instead of helping people themselves, they're urging them to run into the flames. So that analogy is certainly what we see in reality. You have some groups who help people come into the church, but they don't do anything to help people once they're in. And they kind of set them up for failure. And then you have groups of people who are in the church who help bring people into the church and help people while they're in the church by telling them, avoid this other group of people who's telling you rush into the flames. They're schismatics, they're heretics, and they're liars. Avoid them. They claim they're Catholic, but they're not. They're telling you to run into the fire. They're telling you to run into the very thing you were trying to avoid when you came here to the church. They're telling you to run right back out into darkness or run into the fire. And then that group of people leading souls astray, they're then attacking the ones who are actually defending the church, defending that voice in the back, the magisterium, who's telling you, Here's what to do in God's house. Here's how to escape those who are trying to destroy it. They'll never succeed, but they will take some souls in the process. They won't succeed in destroying the church, but they will succeed in destroying some people in the church. And that voice in the back, the magisterium, is telling you how to avoid that. And then you have those people who are helping people, avoid the fire, giving them the fireproof suits and all that. So when a person says they don't recommend my channel to, new converts, what they're saying is, I'm setting people up for failure. And I don't think that you should help set people up for success, is what they're effectively saying. What they should be doing is saying they don't recommend channels that are calling people to walk into the flames and ignore the people who are trying to hand them a fireproof suit. That's what they should be doing. Number three, I do have to say, the people who would say that, I have to sincerely ask, what are they doing to help bring people in the church and then help keep people on the path of righteousness once they're in the church? Sincere question. If they have something better that they're doing than my channel, hey, you know what? Great. If they're helping people and they are setting them up for success, I'm all on board for it. But where are they? Please let me know who they are so that I can go and help and support them. There's some out there, but they're usually not the big names. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see the full video, go to the link in the description. And also, while you're at it, hit the subscribe button. God bless. Hey friends, do you want others to discover why the Catholic Church is the church that Jesus established? And do you want to help people make sense of all the confusion in the Catholic Church today? Help contribute to this mission by supporting Reason and Theology at patreon.com/Reason and Theology. By doing so, you'll also get access to exclusive content for patrons only. Also, if you want to deepen your faith, there are free ebooks and even courses that you can sign up for by visiting reason.podia.com.